Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 2nd of February that I think it will go down in history from this day forward as Memo Day.
Memo Day.
Memo Day. It's very memorable.
All right, so I'm going to get you guys into reactions from the Democrats, reactions from Julian Assange, reactions from Sebastian Gorka, Trey Gowdy, Jim Jordan. I want to get to all of that, so stick with me. But I want to start with actually reading the memo to you. We're still on Maxine, she says.
Okay. Well, it should have changed. But
We'll
try to change it again.
All right. The memo, you guys. The memo has been released. Are you ready? All right. So here is the cover letter. You ready? Dear Mr. Chairman, on January 29th, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence voted to disclose publicly a memorandum containing classified information provided to the committee in connection with its oversight activities. And then it goes on to say the Constitution vests the president with the authority to protect national security secrets from disclosure. As the Supreme Court has recognized, it is the president's responsibility to classify, declassify, and to control access to information bearing on our intelligence sources and methods and national defense. I'm going to actually break some news here because here's the thing. Adam Schiff went on MSNBC and CNN and all the mainstream media, and he said that this memo would have sources and means and would end our democracy, right. Constitutional crisis. Ain't nothing of that. No, there's nothing in there.
Fear mongering.
Yeah, exactly, which is absolutely insane. As Julian Assange tweeted out, if you had just let it go, you might have been able to spin it like you've spun everything, because everything in it we know already, okay? Right. There's a couple little tidbits that were very interesting that you're going to sink your teeth into like I did. I'm like, are you kidding me? All right, so
I can't keep this thing off my face.
In order to facilitate appropriate congressional oversight, the executive branch may entrust classified information to the appropriate committees of Congress, as it has done in connection with the committee's oversight activities here. The executive branch does so on the assumption that the committee will responsibly protect such classified information consistent with the laws of the United States. So basically, the cover letter says what we're doing is perfectly legal. Let's get that out of the way.
Okay. All
right. So here we are. Unclassified stamp. Bam. Unclassified. Who got to be the dude to take the stamp and go bam, 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 unclassify that baby, bam, right there. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. All right. Purpose. This memorandum provides members an update on significant facts relating to the committee's ongoing investigation into the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation and their use of Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the FISA. This particular memo is all about the FISA, but here's the thing. When you have a bunch of dominoes lined up and you flick one, they all go boom, 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 and this is the domino. They're going to wish they never sought the FISA.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to wish, because this is the domino that literally the deep state has been incited out.
Right.
And we see them exactly. We see the team members. We see the press. We see James Comey. We see McCabe. We see Strzok. We see Page. We see Clinton. We see Obama. We see Rod Rosenstein. We see everyone incited out in this tiny little memo. The chips are going to fall. They're going to fall. Dominoes are going to fall. All right, so raised concerns with the legitimacy and legality of certain DOJ and FBI interactions with the FISA court represent a troubling breakdown of legal processes established to protect the American people from abuses related to the FISA process. All right, on October 21st, 2016, DOJ and FBI sought and received a FISA probable cause order, not under Title 7, authorizing electronic surveillance on Carter Page. It all is around this dude. There's one dude. They should have never have done this. Page is a U.S. citizen who served as a volunteer advisor to the Trump presidential campaign, consistent with requirements under FISA. The application had to be first certified by the deputy director of the FBI. It was then required the approval of the Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General, or the Senate-confirmed Assistant Attorney General for National Security Division. The FBI and the DOJ obtained one initial FISA warrant targeting Carter Page and 3 FISA renewals. They have to be renewed every 3 months, right? 90 days. As required, a FISA order on an American citizen must be renewed by the FISA court every 90 days, and each renewal requires a separate finding of probable cause. You can only go after somebody for 90 days. You actually have to have another thing, another piece of evidence you're going to see what this other piece of evidence is. It's Yahoo News. I'm sorry.
Because everybody trusts Yahoo News.
Then Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications. Here's the thing. Now, I'm going to stop right here because this is so important. Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications on behalf of the FBI, but under oath, he says that the dossier was fictitious or fictional and salacious is the word he used. Salacious and fictitious, okay? But he used he admits that he used this salacious dossier, signed his little name on it.
Okay, I have the ability to turn Leah down. If she gets too loud, let me know, because Leah does not have the ability to this release here is going to be too much for her to bring the volume down. Deputy
Director Andrew McCabe signed the other one. Then the DAG, Sally Yates, then acting DAG Donna Bennett, and DAG Rod Rosenstein each signed 1 or more of the FISA applications on behalf of the DOJ. Rod Rosenstein appointed Mueller for the investigation on Donald Trump. They're all in on it. Rod Rosenstein is still, he's still in charge here, okay? He's still in charge here. Due to the sensitive nature of foreign intelligence activity, the FISA submissions, including renewals before the FISA court, are classified. As such, the public's confidence in the integrity of the FISA process depends on the court's ability to hold the government to the highest standard, particularly as it relates to the surveillance of American citizens. This is your Fourth Amendment, y'all. However, the FISC's rigor in protecting the rights of Americans, which is reinforced by the 90-day renewals of surveillance orders, is necessarily dependent on the government's production to the court of all material and relevant facts. Everything that would, all facts, whether it's for your wanting to spy on people, or whether it shows that maybe you shouldn't. You have to present all the facts. This should include information potentially favorable to the target of the FISA application that is known by the government. In the case of Carter Page, the government had at least 4 independent opportunities before the FISA court to accurately provide an accounting of the relevant facts. That we're going to get, this is deep and this is dirty, and y'all know this is what's true, but now it's like really true. Okay,
so Cecilia
it's true, and now it's proved true. It's
wants
true. It's
to
true.
know, do you guys think that any of them will go to jail?
We're going to get to that. We have a representative who is filing charges. Something's going to happen, y'all.
It's got to happen.
This is the deep state's mask is unmasked. They're unmasked.
Imagine if you guys were, I missed it, alive during Watergate. And had been a part of this history.
Right.
You guys here at Resistance Chicks are a part of something that is far worse than the Watergate scandal.
Far, far, far worse. All right, here we go. All right. Number 1, the dossier compiled by Christopher Steele, the Steele dossier, the British spy, on behalf of the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary campaign. Remember, Hillary was running the DNC. This is all on Hillary's shoulders. Bam, right? Formed an essential part of the Carter Page FISA application. Steele was a longtime FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by the DNC and the Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins Coie and research firm Fusion GPS to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia. A, neither the initial application in October 2016 nor any of the renewals disclose or reference the role of the DNC, the Clinton campaign, or any party or campaign in funding Steele's efforts, even though the political origins of the Steele dossier were then known to senior DOJ and FBI officials. Number 1, strike 1. They should have told the FISA court where this information was coming from. It was coming from and paid for by the DNC, by Hillary Clinton, by a opposition candidate to spy on another candidate. The FISA court should have known all of this. Number B, the initial FISA application notes that Steele was working for a named U.S. person, but does not name Fusion GPS and the principal Glenn Simpson. They should have told the FISA court that Glenn Simpson and it was Fusion GPS connected to all this goes deep and it's dirty, y'all. Okay. who was paid by a U.S. law firm, Perkins Coie, representing the DNC, even though it was known by the DOJ at that time that political actors were involved with the Steele dossier. This is the entire Obama administration at the time, our DOJ
Obama,
and our FBI. Don't tell me that Obama didn't know this was going down, y'all. This was part of Strzok and Page's secret society and their insurance policy. The application does not mention Steele was ultimately working on behalf of and paid by the DNC and the Clinton campaign, or that the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for the same information. Number 2. The Carter Page FISA application also cited extensively a September 23rd, 2016 Yahoo News article, you guys. This is where it gets crazy. This right here. I want to highlight it and I want to say the FBI used Yahoo News. But you guys, it's even worse than that. It's even worse than just using Yahoo News, because I'm going to tell you something. I only have to read it to you. Here's the thing. The article that they used to corroborate their Steele dossier was based on Steele leaking his information to Yahoo News. So it's like
that's circular reasoning.
Me going to the Washington Post, giving them information, and then I have a memo, and then it's all me. It's all me. It was all Christopher Steele. All Steele. I mean, and they knew it. They knew it because there was nothing else to corroborate.
Corroborate.
You
said it right the first time.
Corroborate. All right. I tried. All right. So here's the thing. So the Yahoo News article by Michael Iskoff was, which focuses on Page's July 26 trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it is derived from information leaked by Steele to Yahoo News. He actually leaked his information to 6 media outlets. The FBI should have dropped him like a hot potato, saying, you a leaker. You're trying to get your thing going on, but there's even more. You guys, there's even more. This is like behind door number 10, okay? We can keep opening these doors. It's absolutely insane. This is something that we didn't know was the Yahoo News article leaked information by Steele was used to corroborate his own information.
So I want to give a sneak peek to something that's going to be taking place tomorrow. I think I'm going to use this from now on as a prop on Resistance Chicks. But for every time that I feel that there's a foul, this is a foul.
Yellow flag.
I'm throwing a flag on the play. Okay, I may just throw it up in the air, but it's much more fun to throw it down. No, you can't have the flag.
I can't.
I get the flag, and I'm throwing a flag on this play. Oh, she took it.
Okay, the FISA the Page FISA application incorrectly assesses that Steele did not directly provide the information to Yahoo News. The FISA application incorrectly lies that Steele did not directly provide the information to Yahoo News. It lies. Their application, they lie. They're lies.
Liars.
Steele has admitted in British court filings that he met with Yahoo News and several other outlets in September 2016 at the direction of Fusion GPS.
That's a flag.
The Clinton campaign, they were all working together. You had Fusion GPS, the DNC, Hillary Clinton, all working together. That's why she kept pushing this Russia thing, because it was planned from the beginning. Everyone knows it's a hoax. Now, if you know somebody who believes that Russia is involved or something like this, they're dumb. Because everyone at the top knows it's fake. They are faking people, all right? And so for people to believe it, they're dumb. You need to pray for them.
You
pray for them because they have their IQ has been stunned.
Robert Giles says, I bet if you go to that Yahoo article, it starts with, from an unverifiable source. Otto says, flag on the play, attempted treason, number 666. 25-yard penalty, and repeat the down.
Number 666. Steele has admitted in British court. All right, here. Perkins Coie, whatever, was aware of Steele's initial media contacts because they hosted at least one meeting in Washington, D.C. in 2016 with Steele and Fusion GPS, where this matter was discussed. Okay, here we go. Steele was suspended and then terminated as an FBI source for what the FBI defines as the most serious of violations, an unauthorized disclosure to the media of his relationship with the FBI. So he told people that he's working for the FBI. I'm working for the FBI, y'all. I'm working for the FBI, y'all. I'm working for the FBI, y'all. I'm handing them all fake information.
Didn't we used to have Christian FBI shirts?
We
They
did.
said FBI in the back, and there was an acronym for something else. I
Firm
can't
believer
remember.
in Christ.
That's what it was. That's right. And we would have people like, are you part of the FBI? No, if you're part of the FBI, you don't wear FBI gear unless you're on like a case, like you're, showing up.
All right, so that's the most serious of violations, an unauthorized disclosure to the media of his relationship with the FBI in an October 30th, 2016 Mother Jones article by David Korn. Steele should have been terminated for his previous undisclosed contacts with Yahoo and other news outlets in September before the Page application was submitted to the FISA court in October. But Steele improperly concealed from and lied to the FBI about those contacts. Now, here's the thing. He's lying to the FBI. He's leaking like a sinking ship. And he's the guy who created the dossier that they took to the FISA court to be able to spy on Carter Page and get this whole thing going on Flynn and Donald Trump. I can't even tell you guys. All right. So, Steele's numerous encounters with the media violated the cardinal rule of source handling, maintaining confidentiality, and demonstrated that Steele had become a less than reliable source for the FBI. All right, number 3. Before and after Steele was terminated as a source, he maintained contact. It gets juicier. I mean, like juicier than the thickest steak you've ever. He maintained contact with the DOJ via then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr. I love these. He's like, I am the deputy.
Would you like a deputy pin?
Yeah. Okay, you guys heard about Bruce Orr. Him and his wife. They're in cahoots with this whole mamma jamma, right? So you have the Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr, a senior DOJ official. I think his door was like just a few doors down from the Attorney General. A senior DOJ official who worked closely with the Deputy Attorneys General Sally Yates and Rod Rosenstein shortly after the election. The FBI began interviewing Orr, documenting his communications with Steele. So here Steele's been dropped like a hot potato, but he's still hooking up with Orr, and the FBI is documenting still getting information. For example, in September 2016, Steele admitted to Orr his feelings against then candidate Trump when Steele said he was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. This is Steele, Christopher Steele, the guy who lied about leaking this information. The guy who created this false, phony, salacious dossier.
Who went to 6 media outlets.
How is he not in prison? Flynn.
Oh, he's going to prison after this.
Flynn.
This one I can almost guarantee you.
Flynn lied to the FBI about doing something that wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
And he's looking at 5 years in prison for just lying. He didn't actually do anything wrong, but you're not supposed to lie. Okay?
Lying's okay unless you're Flynn and Manafort.
Unless you're Flynn or Manafort, you're not allowed to lie. Okay? Everybody.
You mean Flynn and Manafort are not allowed to lie and everybody else isn't.
Lying's okay unless you're Flynn or Manafort.
Right.
All right. So this clear evidence of Steele's bias was recorded by Orr at the time and subsequently in official FBI files, but not reflected in any of the FISA applications. So they're taking it to the court,
right?
And they should have said, this guy we're getting information from really does not want Trump to be elected, and he's very passionate about Trump not being elected. So we're using his information.
What information he had that made him so darn scared that Trump was going to get elected? Because as far as the mainstream media was concerned, Hillary was in the back.
Right, that's true. During this same period of time, Orr's wife was employed by Fusion GPS to assist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump. So here they are working together. You've got Bruce Orr working for the government, getting information from Christopher Steele, passing it on to the FBI. You have his wife working for Fusion GPS. And Steele is...
There's no conflict of interest here.
They're friends. They're working together. Okay? This is insane. To insist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump, Orr later provided the FBI with all of his wife's opposition research, paid for by the DNC and the Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. The Orr's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was inexplicably concealed from the FISA court. According to the head of the FBI's Counterintelligence Division, Assistant Director Bill Priestap, corroboration of the Steele dossier was in its infancy at the time of the initial Carter Page FISA application. After Steele was terminated, a source validation report conducted by an independent unit within the FBI assessed Steele's reporting as only minimally corroborated. Yet, in early January 2017, Director Comey briefly briefed President-elect Trump on a summary of the Steele dossier, even though it was, according to his June 2017 testimony, salacious and unverified. While the FISA application relied on Steele's past record of credible reporting on other unrelated matters, it ignored or concealed his anti-Trump financial and ideological motivations. Furthermore, Deputy Director McCabe testified before the committee on December 2017 that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from the FISA court without the Steele dossier information. Flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
This is it. We're going to finish here. We're going to get to some reactions. The Page FISA application also mentions information regarding fellow Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos. I don't know who this stupid guy is, but he's everywhere.
Oh, man.
Was that Jesper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But there is no evidence of any cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Papadopoulos. The Papadopoulos information triggered the opening of an FBI counterintelligence investigation in late 2017 by FBI agent Peter Strzok. Strzok was reassigned by the special counsel's office to FBI Human Resources for improper text messages to his mistress. He wasn't fired. He was reassigned. By Lisa Page, where they both demonstrate a clear bias against Trump and in favor of Clinton, whom Strzok had also investigated. The Strzok-Lisa Page texts also reflect extensive discussions about the investigation, orchestrating leaks to the media, and including a meeting with the Deputy Director McCabe to discuss an insurance policy against President Trump's election. All right, so that is the unclassified memo. It is not actually jaw dropping. We know all this information. The only piece that was really interesting to me that stuck out that we didn't know of already was the Yahoo News article, which I found incredibly hilarious. Now, you heard my take on it. You want to know what's going to happen.
Stacey says a good old fashioned hanging is needed.
Yeah. So this is Representative Paul Gosar. He's the guy. He wants to seek criminal prosecution of the FBI, the DOJ officials over treason. In a letter published Friday, Representative Paul Gosar from Arizona announced he will seek the criminal prosecution of FBI and Justice Department officials in response to treason laid out in the FISA memo. The FBI knowingly took false information from the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign and then used it to smear Donald Trump in order to hurt his campaign. The full-throated adoption of this illegal misconduct and abuse of the FISA by James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Sally Yates, and Rod Rosenstein is not just criminal but constitutes treason. He revealed he would seek criminal prosecution against these traitors to our nation under the U.S. Constitution. The FBI and the Justice Department officials could be put to death if found guilty of treason.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
Yes, do it, baby.
Wait a minute. Rewind. Say that again.
If you are found guilty of treason, you can be put to death.
That's not going to happen, but just the idea. Okay, that makes me sound like a horrible monster, but I don't know. We're talking about drawn and quartered here.
He says, in his statement, he says, this is third world politics where the official government agencies are used as campaign attack dogs. The full-throated adoption of this illegal misconduct and abuse. We read that. Finally, let me say this to those members of Congress who fought so hard to keep the truth from the American public. Your efforts to protect a corrupt organization are duly noted. I am not surprised Senator Flake has again cast his lot with the Democrats and attacked those true patriots. Good riddance. Now, here's the thing.
Good riddance.
What in that can anybody with a brain say that anything was exposed? Any sources, any means, any methods? Nothing.
Nothing.
They wanted to actually redact names on that. Because they were afraid. The only thing that, and I'm going to get to Julian Assange's tweets here, because the only thing going on here is that, is this the real, there's a couple Julian Assange's out. You have to make sure I'm on the right one. That's the right one.
I want to take a moment to welcome our Facebook Live viewers that are here. Once again, this is still very new to us doing simulcast to YouTube, Resistance Chicks, and Facebook. So welcome, welcome.
Okay, so this is a recent tweet that I hadn't seen yet. He says, example of Twitter botnet pushing anti-Trump pro-McCain story today. McCain said, way to do Putin's bidding today. Now, what part of that memo has anything to do with Russia or Putin, y'all? All of it is facts. Somebody else posted, Putin won today. Putin won today. Putin won today.
Putin didn't do anything to start with as far as this is concerned. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous.
So you have these bots out here showing John McCain just made a startling public accusation against Trump amid phony Nunes memo release. So you have these bots, all these bots. They're not real people. They're not even retweets. Do you see this? These aren't retweets. These are bots pushing McCain anti-Trump tweet because they don't say retweets. These are just statements. Right. John McCain just made a startling public accusation against Trump amid the phony Nunes memo release. All these people, and they use girls. They use regular-looking girls. So I don't trust anybody who's anti-Trump who looks like a normal person. So
Truth means truth or Jesus Christ.
What does?
What does?
Something.
Big puzzle. Why does the FBI claim its investigation is based on Papadopoulos' hearing in April? Russians have thousands of Clinton emails. Simply cross-check shows WikiLeaks and DNC leaks weren't obtained from DNC until May 25th, and investigation started in July.
Putin.
Putin means truth.
Putin means truth.
Just Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. He's trying to turn.
Christ won, not Putin.
Jesus Christ won. Oh, I get it. I totally get what she's saying. When it says Putin won, it means Jesus won. The truth won.
Right.
I get it.
And the DNC leaks weren't obtained from the DNC until May 25th. An investigation started in July after the WikiLeaks is published. He says, John McCain criticizing the bureaucracy only helps Putin. Love state officials like I say, or else you're in league with the enemy. Because John McCain says the latest attacks on the FBI and the Department of Justice shares no American interests, no parties, no presidents, only Putin's.
Really?
John McCain says Putin.
Really? And the boy can't stop saying Putin. I mean, it's like I think that his brain has just gone on like repeat, like a broken record. Putin, Putin, Putin. I think he needs to be committed.
So he's tweeting out Mark Warner, who said, this unprecedented public disclosure of classified material during an ongoing criminal investigation is dangerous to our national security. And Julian Assange says, the senator who cried wolf, everyone can see for themselves that the classification labels applied to the memo were in abuse and that it in no way threatens the security of the population of the United States at all. No, our national security is not threatened at all. Not at all. Nothing's happened.
But Nancy Pelosi was crying a river of tears.
So James Comey says
about this thing being released.
That's it. Dishonest and misleading memo wrecked the House Intel Committee, destroyed trust with the intelligence community, damaged relationships with the FISA court. Yeah, you did that, buddy. And inexcusably exposed classified investigation of an American citizen for what? DOJ and FBI must keep doing their jobs. And Julian Assange says, James Comey, master of logic. FISA memo is nothing, and yet also the destroyer of worlds.
I don't get how that's...
All right, so he tweeted this out. Liberal pundits and other servants of the Democratic media complex in hysterics on Memo Day, but what's wrong with sunshine? Let's see it all. This memo, the rebuttal, and the data. If a GOP-funded Oppo dossier was used for FISA warrant against Obama, they'd scream like banshees. If this had happened to Obama, Trump would be in jail. Trump would be in jail if he did this.
But thank God the roles are not reversed, and Trump wasn't before Obama. It's that Trump was after Obama. That's the good news.
I find it remarkable how comprehensively the Democrats, DOJ, and FBI have played in Trump hands over the Nunes memo, but conspicuously trying to hide information. They have aligned themselves against the public, drawn suspicion, and imbued the memo with power. And so it does have power. It has truth in it. It has a lot of truth. Let's take a second here and let's listen to Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch. If it wasn't for him, there's so much that we wouldn't know. There are great patriots out there, great, wonderful citizens. Oh, there we go.
It's fine. We're all fine here. We're not.
No, we're not fine.
It's not going to stay. It's going
to have to
watch. He has supported the release of the memo from the very beginning and has FOIA'd through a for information process to try to get as much into the bloodstream of America so that they could know what was going on. Tom, your reaction to the release of the GOP memo?
Oh, I think it's pretty devastating. I've listened to a lot of the commentary waiting to come on, and I don't think it'd be difficult to overstate the importance of the revelations in this memo, not only in terms of the corruption during the Obama administration, but the really devastating blow it strikes at the Mueller investigation. Look, when you have the Obama Justice Department take their best shot with a FISA court, and their best shot is a Clinton campaign document to run the narrative that there was Russia collusion requiring surveillance of a Trump campaign official or volunteer, and it turns out there was really nothing else there but for that dossier paid for by Clinton and DNC funds, then that means there's no Mueller investigation without the dossier paid for by Clinton and DNC funds.
Preach,
so
brother.
The whole thing is subject to really, I think, being called off now by the Justice Department, if they're brave enough, based on these disclosures today. And it really, I'm hearing a lot of talk about the innocent explanations about the information in this memo. If they were so innocent, then why did the FBI and Justice Department steadfastly object and stonewall congressional requests, Judicial Watch requests for information about the dossier and how it was handled? I mean, we learned today that the FBI authorized a payment to the Clinton campaign vendor, Steele. And then when he was cut off, allegedly, the FBI still wanted his information and used to cut out Bruce Orr, who used his wife to funnel information, obviously improperly, to the FBI. And all the courts, not once, not twice, not three, but 4 times, including by Rod Rosenstein, the memo alleges, misled the court.
4 times.
We can't wait for the courts act. What's the Justice Department going to do? The clean house. What is Ray going to do? Clean house.
Especially
what
they're
did
going to
Ray
be on
know
it,
about
y'all.
this?
I
And
gotta
why
tell you,
isn't he
he's
taking
compromised.
steps to reform the FBI?
I don't know what's going to happen.
I tell you, Mr. Mueller, when did he know
Citizens
the
arrest.
dossier that is the basis, fundamentally, for the Russia collusion narrative and the fundamental basis for his investigation? What did he know, and when did he know it? About the Clinton involvement in his investigation.
So, Tom, I want to stop right there because what you've said is ground shaking, and you're the first person who said it. And I've been covering this now since it came out 90 minutes or so ago. The memo is devastating. It's a devastating blow at the Mueller investigation. Those are your words. The House Speaker, Paul Ryan, says the two don't connect. Let's watch this together and then get your reaction.
What this memo is Congress doing its job in conducting legitimate oversight over a very unique law, FISA. And if mistakes were made and if individuals did something wrong, this memo is not an indictment of the FBI, of the Department of Justice. It does not impugn the Mueller investigation or the Deputy Attorney General.
Tom?
The memo speaks for itself. Did the Speaker read the memo that his party authorized the release of from the House of Representatives? This is what I love about our work. The documents are out there. You can reject or accept my analysis or the Speaker's analysis. But when you have the Andrew McCabe, who is no friend of Donald Trump, testifying there be no FISA, a spying operation on the Trump team without this Clinton dossier, that necessarily means there would have been a Mueller investigation, because Mueller was hired to investigate this alleged Russia collusion. And the only reason there's alleged Russia collusion, it looks like, it's because they had this dossier paid for by the Clinton camp.
Yeah, duh.
I don't know what Mr. Ryan's thinking of. So, the politicians in Washington, D.C. are protective of Mr. Mueller, the establishment politicians, and Donald Trump, frankly, seems like
Mueller's
the only one who
Republican,
understands what
by the way,
Mueller's
that
about
says
at this
anything
point.
to you. They're all
So
deep
you
state.
think this is political, and maybe a different way than we had even looked at it. Does this memo cause kind of an ink blot reaction, or does it clear up some things that you had FOIA'd for and tried to get answers for? Because Judicial Watch, I don't know how much our viewers know how much you've been pushing. You wanted former Deputy Director FBI Andrew McCabe's text messages after he popped up between the two agents who were having an affair, talking about how they wanted to keep Trump out of the White House, and they mentioned him by name as Andy in their own text messages, just as an example.
Yeah, we actually asked for his text messages. We sued for them before that material came out. We asked, for instance, for the dossier information, any payments. And they told us they can't confirm or deny anything like that. And they've been stonewalling us. We've asked for the underlying FISA applications. You know, we're going to have dueling memos now about what these underlying applications say. Let's declassify them. Let's get access to them. In fact, we plan to sue for these very records, if not today, but soon. So there has to be I think, this commitment to transparency, and I applaud Devin Nunes and the president for standing fast against the deep state that opposed this in a self-interested way, I think, to protect, again, the Mueller investigation. And I would suggest that they do more of this. I just hope this is one of a series of memos, in the least, that give us some inkling.
The Democratic
of the
memo, you want to see that too?
Sure, I want to see it. I want to see everything. I want to see, though, the underlying documents. Well, why are we arguing what's in the FISA application when it can be easily declassified? There's no good reason to keep it classified at this point.
Right.
You can see the objections to releasing this memo based on the fact things were classified were specious. They were fraudulent. They were fake. There was no classified information in this memo, and their chief concern was that senior officials were named by name, and there's no good reason to withhold that information either. Look, the DOJ and the FBI have zero credibility in any objections they have now or in the future to release of information
it's their own names.
about
they don't want their own names
with respect to the
Rod
Russia
Rosenstein didn't want his name
and their
released.
investigations of Donald
I
Trump.
don't think we should let this go. My name's on it.
Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch, put very strongly in the end there as a closing argument. We appreciate your time.
Everybody's like, oh, you should take Rod Rosenstein's advice. Yeah, his name is on it. Brother. I'm sorry. All right. So
here's the thing, like Leah said, Judicial Watch is on the front lines. They're kind of the only, I don't want to say attack dog out there to hold the deep state and just the government in general accountable.
Sarah Carter's doing a fantastic job, but she's not an organization. She just works for the Hill. Now, who wants to see Donald Trump's reaction?
I think it's a disgrace. What's going on in this country, I think it's a disgrace. The memo was sent to Congress. It was declassified. Congress will do whatever they're going to do. But I think it's a disgrace what's happening in our country. And when you look at that, and you see that, and so many other things, what's going on, a lot of people should be ashamed of themselves, and much worse than that.
Now,
a lot of people should be ashamed of themselves, and much worse than that. But he can't really say. So that was a really great veiled way of saying, y'all need to go to jail.
Yeah, it's not just, no, it's just like, oh man, I'm kind of embarrassed. It's awful. Now, they had mentioned something in that interview very briefly that was hit upon that I've also seen in my travels.
Yes, the MSM should be prosecuted, you guys. This is intense. This is like a full-throated attack.
That this is supposedly the first of a few more memos that are supposed to be released. And so I think it just gets worse, or in our case, better and better. I think that there is more to come. And a lot more. Listen, this is an isolated instance, which obviously Russia blew up into a massive thing. Okay, it became a big thing. But this is just, when we're talking deep state, when we're talking globalism, when we're talking corruption in the voting process, a stolen or an attempted, stealing of an election fraud. It goes so deep. There are so many. We're talking thousands upon thousands of people that need to go to jail.
Here's another. This is breaking news. Media was set ablaze after the House Intelligence Committee released their classified memo on Friday morning. However, there's another one breaking. The Senate Judiciary Committee also has a memo on Steele. The Senate Judiciary Committee, not same different committee. On Steele, the dossier, and the FBI, and is working to get it declassified.
Great.
Dear Jesus. Everybody with me right now. Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus.
Please let this other one be declassified.
Please let
all
this
the information
other one
come
be declassified.
to the light.
And
shine
please
your
let
light.
all this information come to the light.
Send the cockroaches to their corners.
Shine the light. Send the cockroaches to their corners. And as Leah said yesterday, the only reason that government housing is put up is so that the cockroaches have a place to live.
That's right.
My mom cracked up about that.
All right, so Paul Sperry says the Senate Judiciary Committee also has a memo on Steele, the dossier, and the FBI is working to get it declassified. As previously reported, the GOP lawmakers are seeking to make the case that the Mueller investigation and the FBI...
It's an attempt to overthrow the government.
It's an attempt to overthrow the government, yeah. The FBI probe into Trump's campaign was based on potentially tainted and flawed evidence connected to Hillary Clinton, says John Solomon of The Hill. Solomon has been working with Sarah Carter, by the way, two heroes. Solomon's report revealed part of the investigation includes an 8-page criminal referral filed by the DOJ by Grassley and Graham. Another document, an 8-page criminal referral filed with the Justice Department by Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley and Senator Lindsey Graham, is also part of the GOP case. While the FBI has been protesting the release of the Nunes memo, it has been working behind the scenes to vet a version of the Grassley-Graham memo, which is expected to be released in redacted form soon. The FBI is also seeking redactions to the Nunes memo, though it is not clear the White House. So there's another memo to be released.
Now, Storm Bear says coup. So I want to put this into perspective for you guys for why this is so important, groundbreaking, earth-shaking news and exciting, because they were doing everything that they could in cahoots with Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration. And I don't even want to just say that. I just want to say Hillary Clinton and Obama. All right. His administration is him. It's like the Trump administration is Trump. They were doing everything that they could to make sure that Trump did not get elected. And we're talking about the deep state, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA. They all were in on doing this. These people don't go down without a fight. So what we have is, I don't know if you guys remember, but within the first few months of Trump's presidency, we kept hearing that word, coup, coup, coup. There's a coup going on. And nobody really believed.
Deep inside the FBI. There were good people inside the FBI trying to get things.
And so what we had is we had and have people within these unelected groups, okay, still trying to take Trump out. We watched that video last night of Maxine saying, I want him impeached. All right. They are doing everything that they can to get rid of Trump. So why, when you see Nancy sitting there moving her dentures and crying like a big baby saying that this is going to be the very worst thing that could ever happen, when you see her doing that and crying, the reason why she's saying this memo is the worst thing that could happen to them, it's not because of this memo. It's because, like Leah said, with the domino effect, this memo ruins all of their plans to get Trump
Here's the thing,
out
because
of office.
they know they're lying about Russia.
Exactly.
They know they're lying.
And when this gets exposed and the confidence of anyone that's left that has confidence in these idiots is just going to be...
The fact that the people will wake up, hopefully, praise God, and say, well, you've been lying to me this whole time. This is funny. This will make you laugh because everything is a little crazy. Somebody put this together for us. Nancy Pelosi actually literally eats her words.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank. Okay. I guarantee it. All right. All right.
That's her playing with her dentures.
That's so weird.
Literally eating her words.
Ugh, that's nasty. You know, those things are supposed to be like stuck up in there, sister.
All right, so here's the White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders,
who we love,
released a statement.
Stop it. Jasper's very excited about this too.
Let's see. Earlier today, President Donald J. Trump declassified a memorandum from the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. The memorandum raises serious concerns about the integrity of decisions made at the highest levels of the Department of Justice and the FBI to use the government's most intrusive surveillance tools against American citizens. This decision was made with input from the President's national security team, including law enforcement officials and members of the intelligence community, for whom the President has great respect. He is especially grateful to the hardworking rank-and-file public servants who work every day to keep America safe and uphold our laws while protecting the constitutional rights of all Americans. Minority members of the committee have reportedly drafted a separate memorandum. The administration stands ready to work with Congress to accommodate oversight requests consistent with applicable standards, including the need to protect intelligence sources and methods. So here's the thing. You got one, let it go. It's just going to keep, you can't cover the truth with a lie. Okay. It's just not going to happen. When the truth is out of the bag, you can't cover it with a lie. So I wanted to give you that.
Which, like you had said earlier, if they had not made a big deal about this, and be like, all right, let's just declassify it, let everybody see what it says, then they would have been able to do control. You know what I mean? They would have been able to put their lies. They could have been spin whatever they want to do. But the fact that they kept holding on to it so tight made everybody go, what are you hiding?
Reporter says, do you still have confidence in Rod Rosenstein? Now listen to Trump, guys.
You figure that one out. You figure that one out.
Do you still have confidence in Rod Rosenstein? And he says, you figured that one out. He doesn't say, I still have confidence in him. No. When Donald Trump's been burned, he doesn't take it lightly.
Nope. I'm still so happy right now. I do feel now somebody's asking if it's Sharon's birthday. And she says, Gary, no. Is that the only way I can get some birthday cake? Here's the thing. Today is everybody's birthday. It is happy birthday Memo Day. Okay? And it is the day to celebrate. We are all excited. This is the first day of the rest of the Memo days. There will be more to
first day of the rest of your life. Okay? This is the day that the deep state had a crack in it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, it's going to just keep leaking and leaking and leaking and leaking. And eventually that dam is going to break. This is not the dam break, okay? Let me tell you, this is a big enough break that cannot be fixed.
This is the part of the movie where you see the first crack.
And you just know.
You know, and you just know. Oh, it's coming.
Know.
It coming.
It is coming. All right. Trey Gowdy shoots down the Democratic talking points after the FISA memo release. Congressman Trey Gowdy dismantled a talking point circulated on social media Friday by those seeking to downplay the implications of the just released House Intelligence Committee memo. Though the FISA memo compiled by the House Intel Chair Devin Nunes makes clear that the infamous Steele dossier was instrumental in securing the FISA warrants on former Trump advisor Carter Page, the left quickly began pointing to the memo's final section. The memo's conclusion fingers former Trump foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos as the impetus for the FBI's monitoring of Trump's campaign, and the anti-Trump crowd argued this point washes out the rest of the memo's implications. Gowdy disagreed. It is important that the American public know if the dossier was paid for by another candidate, used in court pleadings, vetted before it was used, vetted after it was used, and whether all relevant facts were shared with the tribunal approving the FISA application. Despite backing the release of Nunes memos, Gowdy also stated he remains confident in the integrity of the FBI, which I do not.
No.
And so I wanted to give you his...
On our Facebook Live channel, Lindy Lou Hullabaloo says, is it just me or is the USA fighting themselves rather than allowing a democratically elected president just to get on with running the country?
No kidding. No kidding.
What's so cool about what is happening, and we may feel like, you know, they're throwing all this stuff. The Trump-Russia collusion thing is probably one of the best things that could have
Russia,
ever... Possible collusion. Trump-Russia, possible collusion. Do you guys remember when we played that? It's one of the best things I think that could have happened to Trump, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Because it is going to allow the deep state to be exposed for their corruption. If they had not put forward this falsehood and caused an entire nation and the rest of the world to believe that it was true, we wouldn't be able to flush these... people
flush it down
the toilet.
All right,
so it is a really good thing. This is part of Trump running the country. It's flushing these.
She's bringing out a back scratcher. What are you gonna do with that, Mom?
Actually, this is what I'm using to type with. So you guys see mistakes. That's why.
Mom. Oh my gosh.
No, I was trying to talk to So What because it was censored.
Is he
hang on
tonight?
I don't like what's happening.
Yeah, he's on the chat.
Okay.
And I'm like, and so I looked up Gestapo.
Gestapo.
And it as an adjective, it's a brutal oppression or suppression of your opposition. I'm thinking, wait, that's what the Dems are doing. Actually, that's what Hillary does. Is in her dead body list. The brutal suppression of your opposition. They were talking about these guys are spying on their opposition. Right. This is Gestapo Nazi 1933 stuff.
It is. You smell really good. You came out here and all I smell is elderberry lotion. That's funny.
All right. Okay, so here's a few tweets from Sebastian Gorka. Okay, he retweeted this out at Andrew Shuraban, whatever. Let's pretend for a second that the memo day was about the Bush administration spying on Obama's campaign in 2008.
Okay.
Something tells me the media would be calling it the greatest scandal of all time.
Of course. Which is why the MSM, I want some of these reporters to go to jail. Can we make that happen?
Yeah.
Like Cuomo?
Yeah. So, Washington Examiner, media mopes after Fox News, Washington Examiner get first details of Nunes' memo. Then they have avoided being shills for Obama, Hillary, and the DNC. They're all for, I just kept thinking about that. Like all the media's for, the left.
Here, come here.
Let's see.
Here.
All right. Question for Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and all the other professional liars complicit in the attempted cover-up. List the sources and methods exposed by the release of the Devin Nunes memo. Sources and methods. The sources and the methods. No, nothing. Any normal law enforcement officer would have been charged with perjury and obstruction for hiding exculpatory information from a warrant application. This is all, we're calling it Obamagate, by the way.
I like what Rodgers says on Facebook. I can hear them now. Feets don't fail me now. Like, they're going to be running. They're going to be running. I mean, this is excellent. I'm so excited.
So let me see. This morning I tweeted out a bunch of things. Let me see if there's anything good. My tweets that I've missed. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I want to show you guys this. This is Beyond the Memo. Let me see. This is from the theepictimes.com. So what you can do is, let's see, I want this one actually.
Can you make it bigger?
Well, hang on.
There we go. Whoa.
So Beyond the Memo, all right? They put it together for us in a graphic and put everybody together. So an investigative report based on the memo, a declassified FISA report, and the public records on how Trump team was spied on. The declassified House Intelligence Committee memo reveals how the unverified Fusion GPS dossier, opposition research paid for by the Clinton campaign and by the DNC, was used by the FBI and the Department of Justice to obtain a FISA surveillance warrant to spy on Trump campaign volunteer Carter Page. The memo details how the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court was intentionally left in the dark about the source of the allegations that led it to approve the spy warrant in October 2016. It reveals that top FBI and DOJ officials signed off on the initial warrant and 3 subsequent renewals, including by President Donald Trump's Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, who's still there right now. In one instance, the FBI and the DOJ used a Yahoo News article based on the Trump dossier as evidence to extend the FISA warrant, despite the unverified information having come from the same exact source. The memo does not reveal how the FISA warrant was subsequently actually used. The Epic Times used additional sources, including a declassified top secret report of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, to paint a fuller picture of the apparent abuse of power. It goes on to say, after the initial FISA warrant was approved, dozens, if not hundreds, of so-called unmasking requests were made by senior members of then-President Barack Obama's administration. It also opened the floodgate to a number of intelligence leaks to media organizations, which served to turn public opinion actually against Donald Trump.
No kidding. That was the whole point,
right? Continuing, it's amazing that he has people still following him. If you know what I mean, they're working overtime.
They gave their people gave their lives.
Here's the thing: they put inside of us in public schools buttons to push.
Yes,
so that when they need the people to go with them, they push those buttons.
Pre-programming.
Okay, the fact that you aren't pushed by those buttons means that you actually overcame the indoctrination. I am proud of you.
The Pavlov's dogs syndrome with the bell.
You would have been the people in what's the movie with the girl who's always divergent and all that to break out of it, right? Continuing well after Trump was elected, the spying and the leaking raised serious concerns about apparent efforts by the Obama administration, the DNC, and the Clinton campaign to prevent Trump from being elected and to delegitimize him once he was in office. This is happening. This is why this is so amazing. All right, so here's some cool pictures they used. They used the Trump dossier. The so-called Trump dossier, produced by Fusion GPS and paid for by Clinton campaign and the DNC, became the driving force of the Russian collusion allegations. The P-Gate. The P-Gate.
Oh.
Then the FISA surveillance warrant. The FBI and the DOJ used the Trump dossier to obtain a FISA surveillance warrant from, we know about that, right? And then let me go over here and see if there's some more connections. Okay, so here's the people connected. You've got James Comey, Bill Priestap, head of the FBI Counterintelligence Division, Peter Strzok, Department of Justice, you've got Loretta Lynch, Sally Yates, Bruce Orr, then you've got 2017, Rod Rosenstein, Dana Bonet is the acting deputy attorney general, signed off on at least one time on a FISA warrant application for the extension on the Trump campaign volunteer, Carter Page. And then you've got the Obama administration, Susan Rice, Samantha Power, John Brennan, CIA director, Ben Rhodes, deputy national security director. Mueller is the special counsel. He was appointed by Rod Rosenstein as special counsel. Then you have the text messages over here by Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Strzok was actually fired from the special counsel because of his craziness. So then we have spying for political gain, leaks from the Obama administration, media spreads the false narrative, Rod Rosenstein extends a FISA warrant, appoints Mueller, and then democracy targeted. And I just love this thing that they have put together.
You were trying to find a good comparison for what it would be like with them using the Yahoo article. It really just speaks for itself.
Right.
Okay. Steele wrote something.
Right.
Yahoo reported on it. What he wrote was used for the FISA order the first time, and then you have to have new evidence, okay, to extend the FISA warrant. An article reporting on the original evidence is not new evidence.
If you didn't think that McCain was a shill, a traitor, I'm sorry. He's a traitor to our country.
He needs to go to jail for treason, and it will probably kill him.
Yeah.
He's this close, you know.
So Jack Kosovic says General Flynn must be pardoned immediately in light of these disastrous abuses by the federal law enforcement. I love this picture. Putin, Trump, Russia taking off Barack Obama, taking off the head. James Comey tweeted this out, and then Thomas Paine from True Pundit says, your signature is on all the FISA applications, bro. You hired Steele to fabricate intel to use as a basis to obtain the phony warrants and never disclosed the source. Was a paid operative by the FBI. You cooked. You cooked.
And I kind of feel like I know that James Comey is going to bear a big brunt of this, but we just saw how many other people were involved. And I'm hoping that it doesn't just stop with Comey.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's just, you've got Loretta Lynch. She needs to be lynched. I'm sorry. She just does. Her hands are all up in this. And they were arrogant enough that they thought that they could get away with it.
Right. Here's the thing. I believe, was it Trump who appointed Rod Rosenstein to his position? Somehow he gets to his position under Trump, right? He's supposedly a Republican.
Right.
Then Trump finds out just now, that he signed off on a FISA warrant to spy on him. Yeah. To spy on his campaign.
To me, it was illegal.
Talk about
illegal surveillance.
Foxes in the hen house.
And the fact that the FISA... The FISA was allowed to be carried out, knowing that it was the Yahoo report. It's almost like it was put on there as fake. Okay, so whoever approved the FISA order here, they also need to be investigated and probably hung for this. I mean, seriously, because they had to know. You can't cite a news report like that, especially when it's reporting on the original evidence. So they knew.
So, and Senator Rand Paul says, while I applaud the release of the memo, I also call for Congress to take immediate action to help prevent such behavior in the future. So I think, you guys, there's not much more I can say at this point. We've said it all on the memo. It took an hour to do it.
I think it was worth it. It was a good hour. Now, we have other news to cover.
We could. Do you want to take a break?
We could do that. All right.
If you come back, we're going to stop with the memo and just cover some random news, random fun stuff. Not fun, but weird. Weird and fun? Because we only cover weird and fun here.
Right. All right. So we're going to sign off here. I want to thank our moderators who were here this evening. Worth a Look, Sooks, Gary, Donna, Stacy, Rosa Sharon. So we're going to...
Come back. I'm going to give you a Jacob Rees-Moggs video.
Yeah, fantastic. You know what? I think I have some Tommy Robinson stuff I want to...
Some Stealthy Freedom
put out there too. Although we may save that for the UK show on Sunday. So like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring that bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Don't forget we go live every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow we're going to be doing a special show, Super Bowl Throwdown Showdown, okay, where we're going to compare the differences between the UK food and American food. We're going to have some samples. We're going to have videos from Sean and Tracy. Horatio's going to be there. I'm really excited about this. So we're going to see you guys back here tomorrow for that at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, you guys. We'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Yo.
I was cold all alone. No place for